there. Now we're just going to take a moment to review the 2017-2018 college completion calendar and outline the important dates for you to keep in mind as you're a new student here. So the first thing I want to do is point out that you'll notice that our calendar, instead of being organized as traditional semesters, fall, spring, and summer, you'll notice that there are terms here outlined. There are 6 of them, terms A and B, C and D, E and F. For purposes of financial aid, so this keep in mind for students using financial aid, your aid is calculated based on a semester, and they combine terms to create a semester. So terms A and B constitute a fall semester when they're calculating aid, terms C and D constitute a spring semester, and terms E and F constitute a summer semester. The other thing I want to point out to you is that because there are 6 terms, the terms are actually shorter than a traditional semester. They actually run for 8 weeks, and you'll notice here that there are a couple of dates here associated with the start. You'll see that let's take term A for example, there's an instructional week that starts August 14th, and classes start August 21st. So I'm sure there are a few question askers out there thinking, what does that mean? Why are there 2 start dates? Well, what we do is instead of sort of using that first class meeting to review the syllabus and review a homework assignment and things like that, we really put the onus on the student to be able to review the syllabus, purchase your textbooks, and actually complete a homework assignment on your own during your instructional week so that by the time classes start, so that August 21st, you're ready to hit the ground running. And this is also a way that we limit the number of class meetings to make the process more efficient for you, so you're not wasting time in a class when you can be doing some of the prep work on your own. So again, for that instructional week on August 14th, the expectation is you would log into your course content site, which is Blackboard, and your instructor will provide you for each of your courses the syllabus and homework assignment that you complete during that week, and then you'd bring all of that information and knowledge to your first class that again would start on the 21st. So that's another thing to kind of point out for you is the difference between the instructional week and the class start. The other thing I want to point out to you is that there are these drop deadlines listed that allow students to drop a course if you'd like to take an alternative course or just don't have time for a course. Usually these drops can be done if they're within this 100% deadline through Edgewood Express. If they're after these deadlines, you can feel free to contact me and I can help you through that process. But let's turn back to these deadlines. What you'll notice is, for example, term A, the classes start on August 21st. Just 1 week later, on August 28th is the first drop deadline. So if you were able to drop a course on August 28th or before, you would get a 100% refund for that course. The reason I highlight that first deadline is you'll notice it only gives you a week after the beginning of the first course to drop a class with a full refund. So the drop deadlines come quite quickly, so it's important that students make that decision as soon as possible after the first class to avoid having to pay and not receive a full refund. So you'll notice that there's another deadline, which is the 60% refund deadline, which is about a week later. And again, if you drop the class on or before that date, you would receive a 60% refund. And then finally, if you drop the class on this exam, again going with term A, September 22nd, you would drop the class, would receive no refund, but you wouldn't receive an F on your transcript. You would just receive a W for withdrawal. So for those students that are concerned about dropping the course, maybe not necessarily getting a refund, but need to drop the course, you could do so at that date and not receive an F. And then you'll see here the date that the final classes end. So you'll see the last class for term A is on October 9th. And you can kind of follow that same schedule through terms B, C, D, and E. The same length of time between the instructional week and the class start, a week, and then between the class start and the first 100% drop deadline, a week, and then the 100% deadline and the 60% deadline, which is a week. So again, follows the same structure. The next thing I want to point out for you here is the holidays. So currently our holidays are not aligned to the holidays on the traditional college calendar. So for example, we don't have an extended spring break or any of those breaks that the traditional students enjoy currently, mostly because we're an accelerated program, and in order to fit all of the weeks that we need to and get students through the program as quickly and as efficiently as possible, we don't have the time for the long breaks. So those holidays are outlined for you here. You do get holidays, they're just different than the traditional undergraduate calendar. And the other good thing to notice is even though we don't get long or aligned breaks in most cases, we do get a very long, nice break between terms B and C. So you'll notice the last class in term B is on December 7th, and then the first class for term C is on January 8th. So you get basically a month off of classes. Again, you'll want to log in on January 1st to begin your instructional week, so it's a little bit less than a full month between terms B and C, but you do get a break. Let me see if there are any other things for you to outline here. One thing I forgot to mention is for those of you wondering about the length of each term is considered 8 weeks long. And the number of class meetings within those 8 weeks really varies per class. So a lot of our classes are moving to a blended format. This was based on feedback we received from current students about wanting to limit the number of class meetings to give a little bit more flexibility to their schedules, but also to keep some class meetings so they can have that connection with other students and their instructors. So some classes, for example, meet just 3 times during that 8-week period, and the rest of the other 5 weeks they have assignments they do online, and other courses actually meet for 7 class meetings within that 8 weeks and just have the instructional week as the week they do their assignment on their own. So it really depends on the class. And we're starting with our general education classes taking on that blended format, and some of our major requirement courses will be added to that format later on. So you'll see those changes in the coming months and years, but did want to highlight that for you in terms of the number of class meetings and the number of weeks per term. Let's see if there's anything else to highlight for you. Again, here's another description of the instructional week if you forget. Another reminder about the holidays on this line, and then another explanation about the refund deadlines down here. So feel free to review this document on your own. If you do have any questions, feel free to ask me during our meeting together, or email me beforehand, and I'm happy to answer any questions. Thanks for reviewing this college calendar with me. Appreciate it.